for this session, providing very valuable input, feedback, guidance, etc. I'm excited to share about the Workforce Partnerships Institute and what we're about and how you can engage, etc. And given a relatively small group, I welcome questions as I go through. Randy and Rachel will moderate those. Feel free to stop me, interrupt. I'd much rather have a conversation than blab at a screen for however long and then have questions at the end. So it makes it much more interesting if there's interaction. So without further ado, here we go. So I like to keep things simple. So Rachel pretty much covered my intro. Thank you. And so kind of the who, what, why, where, how, and when kind of concept as we go through this. And so I'll cover what is the Wells College Institute for Workforce Partnerships, the why is Wells doing this? Why did they bring me on board? Why did they create this, this initiative? Where you can find classes, how, 3 very easy steps to how to do it, and then when. So we'll cover all of that and probably then some in between. So this is me about 5 years ago without my glasses. Rachel covered a lot of this. The only thing I'll highlight here above and beyond what Rachel shared is that workforce development, partnerships, etc., is very near and dear to my heart. I did my doctoral research in job satisfaction and retention. And so in that research, I learned a lot about what organizations can do on both sides, employees and employers alike, to keep workers and lower their costs for replacement. So that's not what this whole presentation is about, but it does kind of dovetail into the Workforce Partnerships Institute and the work that we're trying to do to bridge the gap between higher ed and the needs of the workforce. So what is that? What is the Wells College Institute for Workforce Partnerships? It was established in October after a feasibility study done to understand what additional educational opportunities that Wells could offer in our local regional area for our workforce, for people who may not have access to higher ed. And so we wanted to provide innovative and affordable learning opportunities. And along with that, and that's part of the focus of this session tonight, is a focus on lifelong learning. So not only helping the workforce skill up, as you will, but also providing opportunities for people at any stage of life. And so it's a yes and. And so the way we're doing that is through non-credit bearing micro-credential courses, which are both basically online. And I'll talk more about that in just a few moments, with a wide range of topics, from digital photography to certification in very highly technical fields. So that's pretty much what it is and why. Education is evolving. COVID had a very large impact on that. It was pretty much a step function change in the way society learned. And so while online courses were available and growing prior to COVID, they really flourished at the outset of COVID. And so not blaming COVID for that, but it really did have an influence on education and our society and our world as a whole. And so some interesting statistics that that came to light as I was doing some of the research for our education partners. There's been a tremendous increase in both undergraduate and graduate certificate enrollment over the last few years. And so that's one of the things that Wells wanted to be sure that we could plug into as part of an educational offering, not only for a traditional undergraduate education, but also a non-traditional education. So that's a big part of the why. And I won't go into all the nitty gritties here. You can see the chart, but it's just a piece of the why. So digital badges. I'm just going to hide this real quick. Digital badges. So they are the new certificate for micro-credentials. And I mentioned micro-credentials and non-credit bearing digital badges earlier. And so if you look at the Venn diagram, you can see some traditional kind of documentation that people can earn, like a training certificate, a course completion certificate, a diploma, and other things that are normal documents like physical credentials, like a driver's license or an ID badge, or a digital credential like a user account or a login, if you will. And so a digital badge kind of resides in the middle of that. And so what that represents is a verifiable evidence that someone has completed a course. And we'll get to that in a moment as well. But that's basically the new currency of course completion certificates. And so employers or prospective employers can look at someone's online profile if they have a digital badge or a digital certificate, and make sure that they are actually legitimate. And so another reason why we want to make sure we are tapping into this market is this little $ over here, based on some research done in the marketplace. The digital badge market size is growing by leaps and bounds. And by 2028, which is not too long from now, it's growing at a double-digit percent, almost 20%. So we want to be sure that we as an institution are in the game, so to speak. We're on the field, we're in the game, we're offering relevant education for those who want it in this way. Another reason of the why is the skills gap is widening. So I won't go through all of these details here, but just to show you, in 2021, 55% of employers reported that they had a skills gap in their employee base. And then that widened to 2023 to 69%. And so not quite sure what is happening there, but it's a statistic that we can't really ignore. And where they are putting their money and their attention is giving their employees access to online education platforms. And so that's something we want to be sure that we are paying attention to as well. And so as we're building the Workforce Partnership Institute, we've started to partner with local and regional organizations that you can see here. And one that I'll highlight over the others is MACNY, the one that's in the middle. That's the Manufacturers Association or Alliance of Central New York. And they have over 300 manufacturing and other company members that could potentially take advantage of our online course offerings. So now we'll shift gears just a little bit to the lifelong learning benefits, which is really the crux of this session. But I wanted to be sure to give you some additional framework and structure to the building blocks of how we're putting this together and how we're moving forward to meet the needs of learners everywhere. And so several of the reasons we're looking to do lifelong learning is that it can unlock a fulfilling life at any stage. It can prevent cognitive decline in elderly. It can be a fountain of youth for the mind, sparking new ideas and keeping the mind young. can build social connections and community where they may not otherwise exist in our very geographically diverse communities, alumni bases, etc. It's a way to reconnect with those communities and adapting to a changing world. Technology is changing so rapidly that this PowerPoint presentation is probably already obsolete. And then also providing a sense of achievement and purpose for accomplishing a new goal or learning something new can provide a sense of joy and enjoyment. So kind of turning our attention to seniors in this case, it can unlock so many things. As I just covered, it can enrich lives, but act as a powerful tool to improve the quality of life and prevent cognitive decline, which I'll get into a little bit in a moment. And our world is ever evolving. So keeping new skills and knowledge can really help seniors and also everyone stay connected and feel relevant and know how to use the evolving technology that's happening in the world at an ever rapid pace. So touching on cognitive decline just a little bit, as we age, our body changes, that's no secret, but our mind also changes as well. And so one of the ways to kind of stave that and prevent that is to exercise it, just like a muscle. So you've heard of crossword puzzles, people doing those or Wordle or other things to keep the brain agile and strong. Learning something new, a new skill can help with that. And it can stimulate new neural pathways and growth, promoting neuroplasticity, which is a fancy way of saying, keeping your brain growing and learning and its ability to adapt and change. Some say lifelong learning can also be a fountain of youth for the mind. It encourages folks to stay curious and engaged, just like picking up a musical instrument, which I highly encourage. I'm a piano player myself. And so that's something that you could learn a new instrument or learn a new song or language or art or whatever to keep your mind active. And as I touched on earlier, it can also provide a greater sense of purpose and accomplishment, which leads to overall psychological well-being in everyone. And then to the point of social connection and community building, if you take a class with someone or, being a part of a discussion group, it can create opportunities to interact with like-minded individuals or not like-minded individuals to expand your thoughts and your mindsets, can combat feelings of isolation and loneliness, which is particularly common among the elderly. But again, since COVID happened, a lot of us are still in our own homes, in our own spaces, and perhaps we're not as actively social as we once were. So it provides a way of reconnecting and forming and continuing on very important relationships. And then there's the technology piece. Lifelong learning can help us all adapt to a changing world. As we all know, technology is advancing in an increasing pace, with AI now in the works and ChatGPT, and a new iPhone or some kind of technology coming out, it seems almost every month. Keeping our brains active and alive and working can help us to adapt to those changes that come at us all the time. And it helps us be confident and our ability to navigate those changes. And so that's something that can also be helpful for seniors and all of us as we age, so that we can use the technology and stay connected to our friends and our family, our kids, our grandkids, whomever they may be. And then a sense of achievement and purpose. We feel good when we accomplish something, when we finish something. So learning something new, whatever it may be, can bring us a sense of fulfillment and joy and confidence. Okay, so how do we and where do we do this? Well, the Workforce Partnerships has a website that's on the wells.edu under academics. And I don't know how savvy or willing you are to point your camera at this QR code that's on the screen on the left-hand side. And QR code stands for quick response. So if you point your camera at that code, there should be a little yellow box that pops up, and you can click on that and it'll take you right to the courses. So that's a quick way to do it. And so you can navigate to the courses through this site also on the Wells academic site. You can see here, if you go to the wells.edu and go to academics, you can see workforce partnerships here. And this takes you right to this page. And so you can navigate through all of these. And so what we've done to date is we have curated learning pathways for various communities. And so we have a digital citizenship certificate, which teaches people how to be safe online, what to do and what not to do on social media, how to protect your private information, etc. We have college readiness courses that are available, a 3-part leadership series, and then resume writing and successful job searching. So that's something that we do at Wells with our workforce partner to help provide customized learning pathways for organizations that we work with. That may or may not apply to you as individuals, but if you are part of an organization or can think of something that you think would be good to have an organization learn, we can definitely work with them to develop a customized program that's just specific for them or for you. And there's 3 easy steps to do it beyond the QR code or going to the site. So the QR code is up here in the top right-hand corner now. I moved it around just to keep things interesting. So if you go to our website, you can choose your learning pathway, and you can click on this little red button here, online courses, or you can click on any of the ones down below, and it'll take you to the website, our course catalog. And so then you select a course catalog, a course from our online catalog. You put a search term in here, or you can choose from any of our featured courses down below, and then you enroll in your course. Now, this is just an example. They're not all $179. You can choose an instructor-led course or a self-paced course, which is all on your own time, whenever you want. So the courses can range from like $49 to, this is probably the higher end for the individual courses, $179, depending on what it is. And then you take the course, and then you receive a certificate from Wells. It doesn't look exactly like this. There's a Wells name on there and the logo, but you'll get a certificate of completion, which will be a verifiable digital credential. And so I talked a little bit about digital citizenship just a few moments ago, but this is something that's a little bit more involved, but fun. And this is the structure for how you can take these courses to learn how to be safer online. And so you can see some of the modules of the course. Master of manners, like how to be appropriate online, how to secure and protect your information, how to prevent cybercrime and scams, etc. And so this is a 6-module program, which is comprised of 8 to 10-minute videos with a short quiz at the end. And then you can get a certificate of completion that looks a little bit something like this, but also has a WELS logo on it as well. So here are some ideas, and the power of connection, which is the underpinning for this entire conversation, is you can enroll in a self-paced course, possibly with some friends, and create a discussion forum via Zoom or another video platform of your choosing. You can enroll by graduating class. Perhaps you find a course that looks interesting to you and perhaps some of your classmates from WELS, and enroll in a course. And then also you could do a discussion group or whatever would be fun for you and engaging. Of course, there's always odds versus evens. Perhaps you have some friends who are odds, perhaps you're an even, or vice versa. Make it a fun competition, or enroll with a work or social club, or even family. Perhaps take a language course as a family. We have some intro to Spanish, Italian, French, as an example, or something that would be interesting to you or your family. Create a study group, and more. So these are some ideas of how to take the class and really harness those benefits of lifelong learning. And so we get to the when. Whenever you'd like, please share the news and help us grow. And so I gave you some ideas on the previous slide about how you could engage and possibly take courses from WELS. Or perhaps you know someone who might benefit if it's not for you, or you don't have time, or it's not something that you're interested in at the moment. Perhaps you know someone who would be and who could benefit, or someone in an organization or an HR department who is in workforce development. That's something that we're always looking to continue to expand and grow. Or if you know of anyone looking for a career change or an additional certification, perhaps someone who's looking for a job, we have some pretty quick courses that can help people get more skills that employers are looking for. And then there's also, and always, the social media platforms, Facebook, LinkedIn, etc., Instagram. I don't know of too many others. I'm not super active on those, but those are the popular ones. And then make referrals, introductions, etc. If you know someone, you can always refer them back to me or to Rachel, to Randy, anyone in the alumni office or advancement office. They can definitely point you in the right direction. And so with that, I'll open it up for Q&A.
I'm going to stop recording, but I'm going to say this before I do stop recording. This is a great way to give to WELS, but also get something in return. So if you've been thinking about how to give to WELS, this is a great way to do it because it's supporting this huge initiative and it's also helping you with lifelong learning. So thank you so much. And I will leave lots of space for Q&A, but I just wanted to pipe that in before I stop recording.